everyone, and welcome to Dusk's Declassified Cosplay Survival Guide. Today I want to talk to you about emergency cosplay repair kits. So, emergency cosplay repair kits are important because A, you never know what's going to break till it's too late. B, there tends to be a lot of downtime between panels and such anyways, so if you've noticed that there's a hole, why not fix it? So I keep my cosplay repair kit in this handy dandy little backpack purse. I love this purse. It was a gift on my 12th birthday. I'm now 25. This is my survival kit for when things go wrong, which more often than not, no matter how well it's made, there is a chance that just because you haven't worn it for a straight 4 hours before, that something's going to break, or you might get caught on a door handle or something. So let's open it up and see what I keep in here. Number one, I keep spirit gum. I only really keep in here if I have something that involves it. If I have any kind of prosthetic, whether it's elf ears or like a fox snout, or if I have a mask, I like to keep my masks on my face with an adhesive as opposed to having an elastic string going around my head. So definitely want to keep this because as the day goes on, depending on how you're moving your face, some of those edges might be coming up, and it's good to have this on hand. Another thing I keep on me is my glue gun and about 5 or 6 glue sticks. The reason for this is because most props and accessories have at least a little bit of them that was held together with hot glue. And so it's good to have on hand because it's a quick, easy repair, and even if you didn't use hot glue to make it, a lot of things can be temporarily fixed with hot glue. Oh no. So definitely keep these on hand. It's also great because most convention centers have a lot of outlets randomly placed throughout the building, so it's usually fairly quick to find one, and since other adhesives usually take a couple of hours to dry, it's also use wisely because depending on what you're trying to fix, it may make it worse if it's just a temporary solution, but you know you're gonna have to fix it again later. It's really hard to sew through dried hot glue. So next thing I keep in here is I keep a spool of thread in whatever costume color that I have. So for Avatar, since I do Princess Azula, I will have black and red and sometimes even gold thread on me because you never know which part of it may get a hole. And I also have a little tin, used to have fashion tape in it, but I used it all up, so it was perfect to hold all my needles. So I keep my sewing needles in here, a couple pins, and some safety pins because those are one of the easiest ways to close a hole if you don't have time. I will not ever go to a convention without these, regardless of how well I think I sewed everything together. And because you have your needle and thread, scissors, kind of need scissors. A smaller pair of scissors would probably not take up as much room, but yeah, scissors would probably be a must-have for this. Now on to the fun stuff. If you are wearing any kind of specialty makeup, or face paint, I would suggest keeping your face paint in this bag if you're just wearing normal makeup. If you don't keep your eyeliner or foundation or anything in there, I don't see why you would need it unless you're literally smearing your face over everything all day. But your lips tend to lose whatever color you put on them or any lip gloss while you eat and talk and everything else, so I always keep those in my purse as well. Other things that you should keep: a little Ziploc bag full of ibuprofen, chewable Pepto-Bismol, just in case you start getting sick. Normal things that you would have for any other kind of vacation. I also keep my wallet and my monies in here, as well as a cell phone charger, because if you don't really know where you're going or if someone needs to get a hold of you, you need your phone. Today's society just cannot survive without cell phones. So also a very good idea to have in your purse. Plus a lot of cosplayers use their phones to take selfies and pictures and videos of the con, and you just want to keep being able to take those things. You don't want to have to stop just because your phone died, so cell phone charger. So in addition to the things I keep on my person when I'm at a convention, which is everything in that bag. I tend to have them on me regardless of the costume at every single convention I go to. Some things that I may choose to leave back in the hotel room might be the glue gun and glue sticks. It really depends on where you're staying. You can keep it in your car or, hotel, pawn it off onto a friend, take turns if you're also holding their wallets and phones. Other things that you want to have with you at the convention, but don't necessarily need on your person, I definitely recommend having some hair styling product for your wigs, or if you're using your natural hair, make sure you have those on hand. But I always keep a can of Got to Be Glued hairspray anytime I have a wig. It is the only hairspray that I trust to keep my bangs where they're supposed to be and fix my spikes if they start to fall down. On that note, I also make sure to bring my clear tacky glue, because this stuff is wonderful to use on the very tips of any spikes, and spiky wigs tend to start separating throughout the day depending on what you're doing in the wig, or just naturally. So I always keep this as well because it's pretty much the same as the hairspray, just a lot better. And last but not least, my wide tooth comb for my wigs. After every wear, I take my wigs off and I give them a nice comb through on the inside and outside. Reverse. There is nothing worse than forgetting to brush it out and then having to put it back on the next day or months later and realizing that you never combed it out, because it may or may not take a while to try and fix. And on that note, you may also want to have a hair tie or two with you in order to braid any long wigs when it's off your head after you've brushed it, to make sure that it doesn't get tangled back up again while you store it, whether on a wig head or in a bag. It's also a good idea, I have found, that if you have a longer wig, such as my Palatena wig or Hilda, which both come down to about my hips, that it looks really nice when the hair is loose on your back, but because they're so long, they're so easy to tangle. So I essentially kind of do something similar to Tifa's hairstyle in Final Fantasy VII, where I take the long hair and maybe 6 to 7 inches from the bottom, I'll just put the hair tie there so that if I get any candid shots at the convention, it'll look like the hair is nice and loose on my back, but then if I turn around, you can see that it's all nicely bound at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about tangles as much. That is my con survival kit, emergency repair kit, and I definitely recommend to any of you that don't have one, make one. And it's always going to change what you put in and out of the bag, or where you keep the bag when you're at the convention, depending on your needs. But I highly recommend having one, because chances are that you may have a little bit of a problem and you don't want your whole convention to be, sad because something important fell apart. And I mean, on that note, if you used duct tape to hold something together, bring the duct tape. If you had paint on anything and you're really worried that it might chip, bring the paint. Bring a little paintbrush. There's nothing wrong with having touch-ups in the hotel room, or at your car, in the hallway. It's about you, and it's about you having fun. That's the whole point of this whole thing, is to just enjoy yourself, and having something break can really ruin all of that. So definitely take care of your costumes and make sure you drink a lot of water, in general. You could keep a bottle of water in your own con bag. I tend to just have a bottle of water that I carry around and refill at the drinking fountains. So thanks for checking out my new Dusk's Declassified Cosplay Survival Guide. Comment below if you have any questions, click and subscribe, and thank you for all you wonderful people out there, and have an awesome convention season. Never stop. Be creative. Forever creative.